Part 6. The Veil of Secrets. The darkness enveloped Amina, swirling around her like a shroud, carrying her deeper into an unknown realm. White heavy checkmark. She felt herself moving, as though floating, until her feet touched solid ground again. White heavy checkmark. The shadows receded, and she found herself standing in a hidden clearing, a place untouched by time. The air was thick with mystery, every corner humming with an ancient power she could feel in her bones. White heavy checkmark. The stranger stood before her, but this time, he seemed different, less a creature of shadows, more real, more vulnerable. His eyes, deep and watchful, bore into hers. "This is the world I live in, Amina," he said, gesturing to the strange beauty around them. "A place hidden from the eyes of those who fear the dark." White heavy checkmark. Amina took in her surroundings, feeling an inexplicable pull to the shadows that danced around her. "Why did you choose me?" she asked, voice barely above a whisper. "There must be others who could walk this path." White heavy checkmark. He paused, a hint of sorrow in his gaze. "Because, Amina, you are descended from those who once walked this path, who harnessed the strength of the night to protect their people. The power you feel, the shadows, it's part of your heritage." Amina's pulse quickened. She remembered fragments of stories her grandmother had told her, about ancestors who were guardians, protectors of their village against unseen forces. The thought that she was somehow connected to them left her both shaken and filled with a quiet sense of purpose. White heavy checkmark. "Then why didn't anyone tell me?" she asked, her voice trembling. White heavy checkmark. "Because it was lost, buried in time, and in fear," he explained, his hand brushing her cheek in a rare gesture of comfort. "But the shadows remember. And they called you back to fulfill what was left unfinished." White heavy checkmark. Amina closed her eyes, feeling the weight of her ancestors' legacy settling on her shoulders. "So, this is my choice, to embrace what was lost." White heavy checkmark. He nodded, his face solemn. "If you take this path, you will become part of the night, a guardian as they were, bound to protect and watch over those you love. But it is a lonely path, Amina, one that few understand." White heavy checkmark. Her heart pounded as she faced the enormity of her choice. She thought of her village, her family, and the weight of her ancestors' legacy. "I will protect them," she said firmly, her voice steady. "I will become what I was meant to be." White heavy checkmark. The stranger's eyes softened, his expression one of both pride and sadness. "Then you are ready, Amina." White heavy checkmark. With a slow nod, she reached for his hand, and together, they stepped forward, deeper into the shadows. The darkness wrapped around her, not as a stranger, but as a part of her. White heavy checkmark. To be continued.